Just my opinion right now was that
you just said I can't.
I did not say you can't. I just said I know I'm in the right. You can obviously change that opinion. That's obviously not some like factual basis of mine, right? Me saying that I'm in the right is obviously just this opinion that I hold. You have the ability to shift that opinion if you provide substantial evidence.
I mean, clearly not, because you're going into this with a mindset of, I know for a fact I'm right and you're wrong, and I don't need to explain myself to you.
Didn't say it was a fact. I just said, I know I'm right.
I mean, the only thing I want to bring up quickly is just simply...
Oh, crap, Liam.
Listen. I said I know for a fact, and he said, I didn't say it was a fact. I didn't say you did.
Hang on a
Do
second.
you speak English?
You said that I said I know for a fact that I'm right. That's exactly
knowing for a fact and
what
saying it is a fact are not the same thing.
Okay,
so
that's fine. We can get pedantic if you want.
Okay,
it's a different sentence. It's not pedantry.
Dude, you look unhinged. You look unhinged. You're screaming at me. I've like not raised my voice once this entire conversation. You've interrupted me the whole time. This is exactly what I had to deal with in the debate earlier, except it was multiplied by 3. Okay, this is completely childish on your part, and you need to stop.
I mean...
Okay, so thank you for sounding like a douchebag, first of all.
Okay.
I explained to you I'm interrupting you because I'm trying to help you, not me. You! Get that through your thick fucking skull, first of all. Second of all, I talk to my friends like this. Whenever I hear anything I consider ridiculous, I talk like this. You can ask Liam. I talk like this all the time.
I don't think
it's... And I forgot what the third thing was.
I'm going to be honest.
So if you want to talk...
I'm going to be honest. I don't think...
Hold on, dude.
I've been just trying to say one thing this whole time, man.
Right now. No, I don't care. I'm talking to one person right now. I'm talking to one person right now.
I'm not going to listen if you don't let him speak.
I'm going to leave.
I'm not...
Okay?
Wait, we're not trying to...
Okay, hold on. If you guys want to talk over me, two at a time, I'm going to leave.
I'm trying to
You talked over him!
So then mute.
Hang on a second. Just...
No. If you talk... If I hear either one of you talking, if you make a point, I'm leaving. Okay, I will talk to one of you individually. But I'm not talking to both.
Fine, Paragon, mute. All that
he unmutes, I leave. Okay.
All that I wanted to simply say was I was trying to just say something purposely when I noticed nobody else was going to say anything. I am actually trying much harder than usual to make sure this isn't a dog pile. It's very unfair that you're assuming my intention just because I decided to speak, first of all.
Did I assume your intention?
Yeah, you were literally saying that we're going to dogpile you right now when literally that's not what I was trying to do.
I don't think you were intending to. I just think that was going to happen.
Okay, that's what I was trying to say before you kept interrupting me. Yeah, what I was trying to say is please let me speak. I'm trying not to make this a thing. I'm trying to just speak when I noticed nobody else was speaking. So... like, I don't know why you have to always jump to conclusions with people like this. It's really frustrating. Like, I wasn't even... What?
Are you done?
Wait, who is this guy? Wait, did someone...
It's my buddy. He's not going to jump in. He's going to be muted.
Okay.
Wait, wait, this is Havoc. Oh, no.
What?
Isn't he the
Do you
guy
have an issue with Havoc?
Isn't he, like, associated with Sir Splash?
No.
Not anymore?
No, he and Splash had a huge following.
Oh, okay. That's good to hear, because I heard that Sir Splash is a pedophile now.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were just saying that, like, I was assuming your intentions. What is it you wanted to tell me?
Well, yeah, it just seems like you kind of jump onto that, or you just assume, like, what we do, what we think constantly, instead of just, like, listen to our arguments properly. It's really frustrating to deal with.
So I'll tell you what happened in the conversation. You might have completely different intentions, or you might have completely different feelings about a thing, but exactly what happened was I joined this conversation to debate one person. I ended up arguing with 3 people at once, and I had to mute 2 of them because they were getting so rowdy that they were talking over not only each other, but me.
Alright, so, first of all, about what you think, whatever, we have definitive proof that that was not a 1v1 VC, and SK never even intended that. You came in your own volition to a public VC, and SK, literally after he asked you to join the VC, added us to join the VC. That's why we joined. We would have literally left you alone if we knew this was a 1v1, which it was not established, ever. If anything, the opposite was under our mind. Dude, what's that background noise?
No.
So, again, the argument was, I could have been completely misunderstanding about what the intention of the VC was, which is why I said numerous times, okay, guys, if you are going to like jump on me like this, I'm just going to leave, right?
Do you
I said
know
this
why we
numerous
jumped
times.
on
You guys
you?
mute me. Of fucking course not. Of course, no one wants to be like 3v1. That's insane.
No, do you know
So-
why? Do you know why? Because you didn't even listen to
Can
what
I just finish?
asked
Can I
you.
finish? Can I finish what I was gonna say? Can I finish what I was gonna say? Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So you can say it was a public server, right? Usually, when I see people pinging multiple people to
Where is
join
it?
a call, is to listen to a debate. That's like generally just the assumption. But sure, I could have been wrong about that. The issue comes down to the problem of, oh, well, I'm joining this VC. I find out that this is actually 3 people trying to jump me at once. I'm like, okay, this is not for me. I was led to believe this was a 1v1 VC. Apparently it's not. That's fine. I'm leaving, right? The issue comes down to the fact that your buddy SK wanted me in this VC. He's like, hey, we can debate tomorrow. He never specified anything about, hey, more than 1 people should debate, right? Of course, it was not a private call. People are going to tune in and listen, right? I never expected it to be a private call. And it's not like the fact that
So
it's
do you
just
not know
it
what
should be
SK said while
expected.
you were
Hold
talking
on,
to him in the
fact,
VC?
wait, don't interrupt me, man. The fact that
I mean,
it
you
should be
interrupted me
expected.
first.
Okay.
Like,
The
you're
fact
going
that
off
it
for
should be
really long,
expected
man. I'm just asking
when
a
I'm
simple
going into a
question.
private call to get jumped by more than
Not a
one
private
person,
call.
I think is probably an issue on your part. And the fact that you still can't let me finish the sentence without interrupting me probably is reflective on not only your guy, but you as well.
I mean, I have this recorded. I can prove you interrupted first in this very conversation, so don't try that.
Can you
Secondly,
give me the recording?
see,
Well-
secondly, it's still recording, buddy. Secondly, Secondly, you didn't listen to what SK was saying in that VC, and now we can prove it. SK flat out said, yeah, in this call, everybody is, if someone has something to add on to the conversation, they are allowed to do it. That is verbatim what he said to you, to your face in that VC. And then you decided to be rude, insulting, and that's when we started to fucking not respect you and started dogpiling you, because there's no point, because you were being mad disrespectful, you were making cope arguments, you were denying that a normal human is gonna not get killed by a pumpkin bomb that's known to kill superhumans. You were being ridiculous in every form of conversation that was in that call. That's why we decided to not try anymore, because there's no point, and you were being disrespectful. You insulted everyone first, you kept calling people retards first, you were being condescending first, and in the end of the day, SK literally said we were all allowed to put in our input. He said it to you, and you didn't even stand up and say, I do not want that to be the case, until you rudely muted us and called us retards behind a mute.
Okay. So firstly, I definitely did make it clear that I didn't want it to be more than a 1v1. I made that clear numerous times. The fact that you didn't pick up on that, and the fact that you guys are saying, oh, you guys, you're actually not listening to a point that he was saying. I think it's pretty evident that you guys weren't listening at all to what I was saying. If you really don't think that I didn't protest at all against it being more than a 1v1.
I mean, you just didn't listen to what I said right now.
Hey, you're still interrupting me. You're still interrupting me.
Yeah, because you
okay? I
failed
let
to
you
listen
go
to
on
my
your whole-
point. You're
I let you waffle on your tangent just now.
Let me finish. You are
Let me finish.
misinterpreting
Let me
my
finish.
argument,
Let me
and you
finish.
want me to make you
Dude,
finish
what
your
are the-
false premise.
What are the mods in here?
Liam.
If they're gonna let him like interrupt me over and over and over again, he looks unhinged.
We literally have videos proving you're
Okay.
unhinged. I've actually publicized a few of them, and they
Well,
all think
okay,
you're a
so here's the
psychopath.
problem.
They all think you're the problem.
True.
I've literally publicized
True.
it. So
So
no,
here's-
I am a
objectively,
psychopath, actually. I'm diagnosed.
objectively, you're the
Liam.
unhinged one.
Liam, I am a psychopath. Now
You're
what?
provably the worst one here.
Yeah.
And
we're
gonna
so
publicize
you were
this
talking
and prove
about
the
how
case.
you were talking about how I was being rude and insulting. I actually know this verbatim. What happened was I was getting like 3v1, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna mute you guys if you guys don't stop talking. And then after I muted you guys, I got muted,
Not what
and that was
happened.
the first time I called anyone retarded. After I get muted, after saying I don't want this to be a 3v1, right? You guys say you started insulting me because it was a cope argument. Like that's just insane. Like you're like, oh yeah, you're retarded because
That's
you're
not
using
what
this
you
cope
see.
argument. Like,
He's
calm down,
lying.
buddy.
He's lying about my position. That's why I don't want him to finish. This is not
You're just-
anywhere near anything.
You guys have this own
Liam.
justified position. You guys have this justified position where it's okay for you to like interrupt me. Hold on. It's okay for you to interrupt me because what I'm saying is wrong. But
No,
it's never
because
okay
what you're
for me
saying
to
is
interrupt.
disrespectful. Is because you came
Yeah.
in first insulting. Shush, Alex. The problem is you came in. You were being disrespectful first before anyone did anything wrong. You raised your voice first. You acted quote unquote unhinged first, and then after a while, we got sick of it and started insulting you. Why do you think? What do you think? SK just gave up, stopped making arguments, and just said you were the dumbest person you've ever met in creative and fantastic ways. It's because after a while of being disrespectful, name calling, raising your voice first, interrupting first, and the fact you were making bad arguments, yeah, people are gonna get frustrated and start fucking dogging on you. If you just acted like a normal human being, which I've never seen you do in any conversation we had, you would have not dealt with that. And we've provably done this with everybody else we talked to, because they are not as fucking out of control as you were, ever. And we have recorded evidence of this.
There is.
I'm
there
going to
is
say,
some-
wait,
one to
before,
bring it
before
up.
this interjection,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it again. I know you're going to like disagree with it, but I just think you're wrong. So again,
Argue with
like,
the literal recording.
You don't have a recording, buddy.
I do. I literally have a recording. It's going public, buddy.
Wait, hold on. You keep interrupting me. The recording's going to show that too. So what happened in this call, which you keep saying didn't happen? I'm sure if you posted the recording, I could verify it. So what happened in this debate earlier was that I started to jump at 3 people at once, right? I'm like, hey, I'm not going to have this. I'm going to mute you guys. I mute you guys. I get muted in return. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to deal with what these retards
You know
have
you
to say.
muted me when it was just me and SK, right? And nobody else was talking? So that's not true. So you already instantly lied. Like, by the beginning of that, that's a lie. You are incorrect.
You cannot let me finish the sentence. You can't let me finish
because
the thought
it's a
without cutting
broken
me off.
premise.
Like
You lied.
No.
No,
You're
your
just
argument's over.
record
You
right
lied.
now. You're a broken
You
record
lied.
right now.
No, you lied. I can verify this. I can verify this. You lied.
You literally have an inability to let me finish a sentence.
You have an
over and over
inability
again.
not to lie.
Not only you.
You have an inability not to lie.
Not only
You're a
you.
liar.
Not only you, but your buddy will repeatedly cut me off. It is insane.
That's because you did it first. That's because
I
you did it first.
explained why I did that 4 times.
Paragon, no.
And now your
Paragon,
buddy's
mute.
coming in. Now your buddy's coming in. He's yelling at me too.
Didn't
So
ask him to.
the fact that you guys think that you're right in this conversation
nice blaming
is
me
just
for
insane
someone
to
else's
me.
actions.
Okay.
Here's the other problem, bro. Like, you did interrupt me when I was just trying to make a point twice.
Who
Right.
Who?
You did.
Wait,
I tried to
moderator.
tell
So you've proven it in this very call. Okay, good. There's
Wait,
proof that you
wait,
were
wait.
there
I did try to
first. Got it.
moderate.
Real quick. Your name's
I did
Alex,
try
right?
to-
Your name's Alex, right?
Yes, I did try to
You're a
moderate the
moderator.
conversation. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just getting interrupted
You're literally
again.
interrupting him right now, the
I did-
moderator. Good job. Proving my point.
I did try. Hold on, Liam. I did try to interject and let you guys know, like, hey, I forgot my point because I got interrupted. Right. I don't even know where I was going.
Hey, Alex, you've been in a lot of moderated conversations with me. Is this ever been a problem with anyone except him when I'm talking to people? Or is it literally the only time with this person?
So, I've never seen you this heated. No.
I have. I have.
So-
I'm not saying because Liam's recording, but I know.
So okay.
I'm not saying it just because he's getting.
I mean, I still
being
have the
recorded.
recording where I wasn't heated. I think I basically almost said next to no insults, and you were unhinged yelling at me. I have that recording, and that's going public.
You're talking about the
proof
25-second video that you posted on Twitter without context?
No, I'm getting posting the whole thing soon. That's just for jokes.
Okay. You better.
You know what a funny is,
okay.
right?
Okay, Alex. So, I apologize if I interrupted you. The reason why I did was just because I was like in the middle of like rebuting his like counterpoint. He had made a point to me. I was going to rebut that. I'm sorry. Like I didn't know I was like addressing more than one points against me at once. That's fine. Next time I'll be more mindful. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's understand. I can work with
although
that.
I would like. Oh, sorry.
I could work with that, is what I said.
I would like to voice this. I would prefer not to talk to two people at once. I would prefer not to rebut 2 points at once, right? If for example, if someone makes a point, right, and they hit me with that point, I prefer to respond to that before someone else makes another point directed towards me. All right? Is that noted?
That's fair. I
That's
have
fair.
a question then. So you did mute us. You did deal with the problem. Why were you still being disrespectful to SK?
Why was I still being disrespectful to SK? Maybe
Yeah.
because he was like screaming over me, probably?
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Before he started even screaming at you or insulting you, he was still trying to make arguments. He sounded annoyed, but he didn't insult you. We literally kept that at note. I think everyone who saw the call could literally attest to this. He only started insulting you after he couldn't stand it because he was about to say, "Hey man, come back. I just want to make 2 points." You interrupted him, constantly insulted him, and then he finally snapped and gave up and decided to just make fun of you.
You two were the only people in call who were like consistently there at this point in time to be able to make notes about this in the first place. what was happening, and I'll give this as my own personal record, right? What was happening was he was consistently cutting me off. He was actually insulting me, right? Then as soon as he kept muting me over and over again, maybe not he was muting me, but one of you guys was muting me. As soon as I kept getting muted over and over again, as soon as it came to a point of like, hey, don't cut me off, as soon as I tried to get him to not cut me off, I get muted. This happened like 3 different times. I had to leave the call. He kept telling me, hey, dude, you got to come back. Please come back, right? As soon as I come back, I'm like, hey, man, if this happens again, I'm leaving, right? I know this is your personal call, or sorry, I know this is your personal server, but if you want me to debate you, you're not going to like mute me in this call. You're not going to let these people talk over me. You're not going to let this be like a 3v1, okay?
All right, so to explain the
wait,
muting
wait,
thing...
dude.
I mean, you literally complained about shotgunning. You made a point. Can I counter it?
Sure, go ahead.
There you go. Okay, so the whole thing about muting. So first of all, the first few times I muted you is when you literally genuinely couldn't stop talking, and yeah, which was shotgunning. You kept going and going and going and going to the point where nobody else could even say anything. That's why I mute you, because you genuinely don't stop. Even when I'm like, okay, let's stop debating, just stop. You won't stop. Like, remember, like, when we recollected this yesterday, where I said, stop arguing, let's calm down. I was called a retard because I wanted to stop, and you kept talking. That's why I eventually decided, I can't handle this, you gotta get server muted, you just need to stop. That's why I do it, is when you genuinely don't stop. Because you're genuinely worse than SK. There is a few occasions where SK does interrupt you, and I try and get him to stop as well, but he's not so out of control that I feel like I need to server mute him exactly.
What points was I shotgunning?
Like, the times I server muted you. Like, anytime I server muted you...
what points were they? What points were they?
The exact points?
No shit. What points was I shotgunning, dude?
I think it was about the Green Goblin pumpkin bombs affecting auto shit. That was, like, most of the debate. It was basically the same topic over and over again.
When I got muted, I'll tell you. When I got muted, I was going on 1 point. I was talking for a little long, but it was still remaining to be 1 point about how he wasn't hurt by these pumpkin bombs, despite how you guys don't think that makes a whole lot of sense, right?
It's
that was the
contradictory.
1 point that I got muted on. I wasn't shotgunning him. I was talking for a little longer than you guys would have liked, and you never local muted him when he was shotgunning me. I had actually
when
pointed
was he
out
shotgunning you?
Numerous times during the conversation. I called it out.
You mean that time where he was about to say 2 things? That was for a broader point. That's not shotgunning because
he's like he says.
Give me a sec, dude. I'm trying to explain why he isn't right now. So here's the problem: he's not shotgunning you because he gave you 2 points, but they were for a broader point. There are 2 pieces of evidence to make one big point. It is the reason is because this, and then this, and then this. Green Goblin could use a bomb that could take away your oxygen, and he can hallucinogenic you. Here's proof of him doing it to this superhuman. So if Goblin did both of it, Auto dies. That is 1 point. That is not shotgunning.
Okay. So you can't even explain the point that I was shotgunning him on. You just said, oh, well, isn't it something about Auto being hit by the bombs? I can explain to you why him bringing up 2 different win cons and then trying to combine them together when I have an answer for both of these win cons individually is 100% shotgunning.
He wasn't talking about individually. That wasn't his point. His point was together.
I know, but he was bringing them up. I would feel the need, obviously, to address one of these win cons individually before he just makes the argument like, oh, well, what if he just combines them?
So in debates, do you genuinely...
Wait, hold on.
So in debates, do you genuinely believe in debates that people aren't allowed to use more than 1 piece of evidence to make a point? Because that's really stupid.
That's not what I believe.
Okay, so he's not shotgunning.
Hold on. What I believe is that when I would have gone down that argument, if I were allowed to before being cut off over and over and over again, if I were to go down that argument, I say, okay, here's why Auto takes that hallucinogen gas, and then here's why Auto takes the oxygen gas. I wouldn't be able to explain why he was able to take one or the other before going down this whole new rabbit hole, right? I want to cut individual points in the bud, right? So imagine for a second,
but those are individual points.
If I hold on. Imagine for a second if I allowed him to bring up, oh, he can hallucinogen and suck your oxygen. Both of these points individually would be win cons if I didn't have an answer for them, right? But together, they're also like this like mega uber win con, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? If I address, okay, well, Auto has this answer for hallucinogens, right? If we went down that rabbit hole, and then the conversation finished from that point, or we weren't able to pick up the second part of his argument, then that would have just been shotgunning, obviously. If I'm not able to like confidently address both of these points at the same time, I'm just able to address one or the other. It's obviously creates an issue. That's obviously shotgunning. Yeah.
No, shotgunning is literally when you make completely multiple points like over and over again. It's not when you make two. No, it's not when you make one point that Green Goblin can use these abilities that can definitively kill Doc Ock, and he could just combine them together. That's not shotgunning. That is one point. He was using evidence
I'll
for
tell
how
you
he
this.
can do it for individualies, but that's just evidence to support his one point. That's not shotgunning.
I'll tell you
And
this.
about like
Call it
and
shotgun
about
or
the
not.
thing about me server muting you if you were or weren't shotgunning, even if you weren't shotgunning, maybe I misremembered if you exactly were. The point would still stand that you just kept going on and on and on and genuinely wouldn't stop to the point where it was getting headache inducing. Like nobody could handle it. You were yelling,
You would
screaming,
waffle for way
insulting.
longer than me.
You were yelling, screaming, insulting, and you wouldn't
Mhm.
stop even when everyone else is just telling you, dude, stop. Like we're not following the
Okay.
argument anyways, and you kept it going. It doesn't matter at that point. You're genuinely just being nothing but disruptive. That's
Okay.
why we did it.
So what happened at the end of the call was actually him doing exactly that. I was never screaming at him for long periods of time. The only times when I was yelling at him was when he was trying to talk over me. He was trying to get this point over me. He was trying to cut me off. That's the only times when I was
That's a
yelling at him.
fantastic
I'd be
point.
like,
I
"Let me
agree.
talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk."
Sorry,
right?
yeah, I
That's
agree
why
with
I'd say,
you.
no. I'm not saying that to you. That's like what I was saying to him.
Oh, okay.
Right? I'd say that over and over and over again to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
I agree.
Like,
What he did is wrong, right? I don't stand by
yeah,
that.
yeah, it is wrong. And not only that, not only
Are you gonna ask
call
why I
it-
didn't server mute him though?
call what
Is
I
that the
did-
question?
Sorry. Call what he did shotgunning or not. I let him do it at the end of the day, right? I'm like, okay, sure. Even if you are shotgunning me, you're able to do this. I don't care. No matter what, like when I was doing this, what you even like perceived as shotgunning, which you're not able to justify why it is, right? When I was doing
I already
something
just
similar,
admitted it might not be shotgunning.
I just immediately got server muted. There was no fair mediums at all in this discussion. It was just completely like unhinged, completely just like lawless almost, right?
All right,
So I feel like.
Hey,
Okay.
can I just counter
Go
a
ahead.
few of these because like it is getting into a lot of points again. So first of
Sure.
all,
Go
about
ahead.
the shotgunning thing, I'll take that back. Because like I said, if it wasn't shotgunning, fine. Like it could have been, it could have not been. I don't know if you said literally one argument or multiple arguments. The point, like, it's hard to follow because you were just yelling, screaming, insulting, and talking for so ridiculously long, and you wouldn't stop genuinely when like everybody was telling you to, and when I was getting really annoying. That's the only time I would ever do it, is like clearly when SK's getting lambasted by like someone over talking him. You brought up a good point though. Why didn't I do that to SK when he started saying that you smelled so bad you changed climate change? There's a reason I stopped doing that. It's because you, at the end of the day, was so bad, so disrespectful to all of us. You muted us and called us like retards and stuff, which is super fucking unrespectful. I'm not gonna respect someone who's so cowardly they're gonna insult me behind a mute. If you're gonna mute me, at least don't make fun of me. At least don't insult me. First of all,
You guys did that too.
no, we didn't.
You did.
No.
Don't lie. Dude,
No.
I think you know.
I know
that
what
you
you're
did.
doing. I know what you're saying. Yeah, if I server mute you, insult you, then I unserver mute you to give you a chance to bite back. That's different.
Okay.
But besides,
Except the issue is, I wasn't there to talk to you. I wasn't there to talk to your buddy Paragon. I was there to talk to your dude in the 1v1. I made this extremely
that's
clear.
moving the
I don't know how
goalposts.
much. I don't know how much more clear. I don't know how much more clear I could have made this. Right? I said, hey, if your goons don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to leave. Okay? I made this abundantly clear. I understand where you're coming from. You are just wrong. I understand what points you're making. They are just wrong. I don't really,
I
frankly,
haven't
care.
even finished my point yet, but yeah.
Okay.
So what I was
Go
trying
ahead.
to get at
No.
is like,
By all means, go ahead. Finish
yeah.
your point, dude.
So after being muted, disrespected, you were calling everybody in the chat retards and stuff. You were even being mean-spirited to people like Alex and stuff, like muting him and all that shit when he literally said and did nothing. Just being very irritating to everybody and anybody around. Yeah, when SK started to go off on you, I stopped caring. It's like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. Fine. You two could just fucking fight each other. Notice how I also didn't server mute you? I was like, fine, go after each other. I'm just laughing. I was laughing at that point because I didn't care. There was clearly no respectful debate. There was clearly no... Okay, that wasn't me then. That was fucking Paragon or some other person. By the way, I was actively trying to stop that. I was actually telling them, stop server muting him at that point. So, back to what I was saying. After all of that, when you guys start going after each other, and once I noticed this isn't even a respectful debate, this is going nowhere, this fucking argument's doomed, I stopped caring. And yeah, SK started insulting you. When you insulted him, same thing. At that point, I didn't give a shit anymore. When I was server muting you, it was because I thought there was some hopes there'll be some intellectual conversation being pulled.
So I know the optics that you're trying to do, and there's no way I can get around it. But the issue is that, like, when you say stuff like, oh, I was just going on and on and on about these tangents and calling him a retard, I can't stress enough, this was not what I was doing. If anything, he was doing stuff like this as well. I was getting muted in the middle of, like, random points I was making, right? They were not going on for, like, longer than a minute, right? I was just, like, sort of just talking. I think I got, like, 30 seconds to talk before I got muted immediately. I only called you guys a retard immediately following, like, you guys acting retarded, fucking, like, muting me randomly. Like, yes, of course, if you're muting me in the middle of a discussion I'm having with this other person that was scheduled since yesterday to have with this other person, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to respect you there either. You talk about, like, warranted respect. I don't think you warranted respect at that point, right? With Alex,
You can not respect me all you want, but doesn't mean you get to be a pussy.
I'm going to talk to Alex real quick. Alex, I'm sorry if, like, I hurt your feelings with muting. It's really, I generally when I mute people, it's not like anything personal against them, right? What I'm trying to do when I'm muting people is just focus on the one person who I'm trying to have a conversation with, right? If there's background noise or anything like that, it's not that I don't value what you have to say. It's that what I'm trying to have right now is a one-on-one conversation with a completely different person, and, like, just background noise or, like, interjections in general can just provide unnecessary distraction. I've done this before with my friends too, where, like, my friends will just butt in. It's like, okay, dude, that's cool, that's appreciated, but I'm just gonna mute you. I don't need this, like, unnecessary distraction, right? So it's nothing against these people. It's just like I'm so sorry. You guys were obviously the aggressors in the conversation. A non-biased, like, third party who's in there is gonna be able to tell that. It's just, whatever.
I mean, so back to the thing. You said that SK was calling you a retard and all that. That's not true. I think that's flat out disingenuous because as far as First of all, not only is this not consistent with how SK acts in general, I'm pretty sure everybody who was actually in that call, because we have multiple eyewitnesses would stand by, SK didn't open up calling you a retard. You clearly opened up with the insults and the interrupting and all that. That's the only time he started doing it. Will I admit he may have interrupted maybe once or twice before you started blowing off? Maybe, possibly, but he was not doing it nowhere near as bad as you started doing it. You went way too far. You were the one who started the insults, and SK only decided to finally insult you, basically, like, after having been insulted multiple times and people telling you to stop with it.
What was the insult? Because I'll tell you the first insult he said to me, but I want you to tell me the first insult I said to him.
Calling him, like, a retard and all that stuff?
I called you guys a retard. I want you to tell me when and what the context was for me calling him a retard.
You were calling him a moron, an idiot, a retard, fucktard.
Again, I'm going to keep asking, what was the context?
Like, during the conversation?
Yeah, no, what was the context in the conversation when I started calling him a retard? Because you won't be able to point to it. You're just going to say, oh, you started calling him a retard first, just arbitrarily.
Okay,
right?
so
you know that you won't be able to substantiate this.
So here's
you know that you won't be able to substantiate this. I know for a fact. Hold on, let me finish. I know for a fact that you won't be able to substantiate this because he was the one who started the insult.
You asked me a question.
Okay.
This premise is extremely flawed anyway, because first of all, whatever I say, you'll just say something else. It's just going to be a hearsay argument. Secondly, I don't need to say anything. There's eyewitnesses. It's not just me who can abide by this. Paragon can confirm you were insulting first. I can confirm the exact same thing. And literally, who else was in that call?
You and Paragon were the only other people in that call at the moment. Okay,
so basically me, Paragon, and even SK would all just abide by the same thing that you started it. Want me to ask him right now? I'll ask him right now.
For the other people in call, he's appealing to not only himself and Paragon, but also SK, who's the person I was having this, like, vitriolic argument with. I'm pretty sure, like, I've seen their Twitter, they just repost every single thing that, like, the other writes. Like, they can say, oh, we've argued a couple times, but they're very, very obviously close buddies, right? I frankly don't give a shit enough to, like, try to convince you on this point, because I know I won't be able to convince you. What you're doing right now, wait.
I made a doc trying to expose SK and ruin his life.
Don't interrupt me. What you're doing right now to me is you're trying to convince me using something that I know is not the case, right? You aren't able to point to the first time I was able to, like, insult him, right? You don't know when the first time I insulted him was,
okay,
and I think you just made that up. What you're doing right now is you're going to ask...
Hang on.
Want me to point it out?
This is...
No. Want me to point it out? Because apparently you want to play the antics game, fine. It was literally after, like, SK literally started saying, yeah, why the fuck can't Green Goblin's pumping bombs damage a normal human? And then you literally went, it's fiction, you fucking idiot. Like, it's science fiction, you fucking retard.
Wait, he said that point was retarded right prior to that.
What are you talking about? He's like, oh my god, yes! Oh my god!
Dude,
wait,
yes,
no.
Yes.
No, stop! Hang on.
Okay.
Saying a point is retarded is insulting the point, not the person. So now you know, and you lost. Boom.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
So
I lost.
stop.
Anyways,
No, not done.
so
I'm not done.
right now-
No, you
right now
keep
is the same
yappering.
thing
I'm
we've
not
done
done. I'm
over
not
and
done.
over again.
Not done. MC Man, I was not done. MC Man, I was not
If you
done.
really think, if you really think,
So
you're
look,
trying
you
to
won't stop.
explain-
Proving my point. Proving my point. Proving my
If
point.
you really
Proving
think,
my point.
if you
Proving
really
my point.
think,
Proving my point.
Proving
my
point
point.
of view to me
Proving my
by making
point.
some
Look, you're
distinction
literally proving my
between,
point. Why you
I'm
buy
a
server meet you?
retarded,
You won't
and
stop.
I'm an idiot, you're on meth. Okay.
Literally,
What's up?
someone's screaming at you to stop, and you won't. You see why I server muted
You
you
didn't
now?
stop either, dude.
I proved
You're
my
in
point.
the same boat.
No,
okay?
I said I proved my point to make you stop. I'm trying to help him. I'm trying to help
Okay,
my buddy
true.
out. I'm trying to help the moderator. You're not stopping.
Hey
You
guys,
proved my point.
it's been fun.
Right in this
I gotta
recorded
go.
call.
If you really think,
Yep, run
hold on.
away.
If you
Run
guys
away.
really,
I recorded this.
Okay.
I proved
if
you
you guys really
wrong.
think, if you
I
guys
just
really
proved
think,
you wrong. Run away, bitch.
drawing a line between calling
Wow.
is a
I
worthwhile point to
literally
make.
caught
That's
you.
great, guys.
I literally caught you
You
right
look at my
red-handed.
balls.
I literally caught you
okay.
red-handed.
So
Unbelievable.
if you guys really think, because I know you're not
Still
going to let
wouldn't
me
stop,
talk.
by
If
the
you guys
way.
really think, hey,
Moderator,
I know you're
right
not
now.
going to let me talk. I know you're not going to let me
Get
talk.
your point out.
He's still going.
Yeah,
Okay.
moderator asked you to stop.
Okay,
So stop.
hold on.
No, moderator asked you to stop. Stop. No,
Okay, hold on.
moderator
Wait,
asked you to stop.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Want me to
Moderator
speak?
wants you to stop, so you stop. That's the rules. When moderator
Okay,
says
okay.
stop, you shut the fuck up. Yep, he proved my point. I
Coward.
got him. I got him this
Coward.
time. I got
Let's
this fucking
go.
recording. Fuck this guy. And you see why I don't like him.
Dude, I love how